Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to our Sabah press conference. I think this is the first press conference of Sabah upon ourselves being re-registered with the ROS. This is the first good news I have for you today. My second good news is that I'm introducing to you for the very first time the Sabah MS63 legal team who are going to be with me to sue the federal government to get back what belongs to Sarawak. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Now, let me just start by showing you a document from the okay, sorry. I should introduce the people with me right now. Thank you. Well, my name is Dominic Ng. I'm the current president of Sabah, and seated beside me is Lina Su, the founding president of Sabah. Okay, and of course, to my right is fellow lawyer and fellow member of the DUN, Saudara Wundi Shan, who is of course he is also the co-leader of the MA63 legal team. And to his right is Mr. Wilfred Yap. Okay, he is also a very famous person in his own right. So he is also a member of the legal team. And to my left, Mr. Perli Aaron. He is also a very senior lawyer, and he is also a member of our MA63 legal team. Okay, to his left is the legendary Patrick Ane. Yeah. Okay, and he has just now kindly consented to be a member of our MA63 legal team. Okay, and let me see. The rest are Sabah members and committee members. So good afternoon to you. Now this is the first good news that I have. This is from the Registrar of Societies, and actually gave us an interestingly long letter, which even have a letter from the Attorney General Chambers. So I'm making it available to you later on. I'm sorry that it is all in chopped copies and so on. Now, just briefly, and this came from the Attorney General Chambers. It was dated the 6th of March 2013, and it was addressed to the Ketua Pengarah Jabatan Pendaftaran Pertubuhan, or the Registrar of Societies. And basically, it outlines the history behind the suit that Sabah took up against the Registrar of Societies, against the, at that time, the title, if I may, the judicial review title is Sulina and two others versus Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, and two others being the Registrar of Societies and also the Malaysian government. So it started way back in 2015, and there is some history in that. I'm going to give it to you later on by WhatsApp, okay, so that you can quote it if you want to. So the history of the suit that we took against the federal government, the Registrar of Societies, is all stated inside here. And this letter clearly clarifies that the appeal of the federal government against the judicial review that we managed to attempt against them has been struck out. Okay, has been struck out. And in other words, I'll just read the last paragraph. Respondent yang telah merayu kepada Mahkamah Rayuan dan Mahkamah Rayuan pada 18 bulan 10 2016 Sebulat Sarawak mengesahkan keputusan Mahkamah Tinggi dan menolak rayuan respondent. Pada 19.07.2018, Mahkamah Persekutuan telah membatalkan rayuan respondent. Respondent being berdasarkan kepada keputusan Mahkamah Tinggi, Mahkamah Rayuan dan Mahkamah Persekutuan di atas, perintah tersebut yang dikeluarkan oleh respondent adalah tidak sah dan terbatal. The respondent is actually Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, who was then the Home Minister and subsequently became the Deputy Prime Minister. Okay, so in other words, and actually they say also, oleh itu Sabah telah diaktifkan semula pendaftaran sebagai sebuah pertubuhan yang berdaftar. Bersama ini dilampirkan alasan penghakiman Mahkamah Rayuan, perintah Mahkamah Tinggi dan draft perintah Mahkamah Rayuan yang untuk tindakan pihak Puan. So this letter was written by the SAG chambers to the Registrar of Societies, dated 6th of March. Okay, so we are now officially clear. And of course, it was actually enclosed in a letter of reply by the Jabatan Pendaftaran Pertubuhan Malaysia, Negeri Sarawak. It was enclosed inside there to inform us that our registration has been reactivated. Okay, so this is the first good news that we have today, which is Sabah is now officially back in business. Business being a figurative way. Now, as we've indicated many times, Sabah is in the forefront to fight for the return of Sarawak rights. And we have also now formed the MS63 legal team, of whom some of whom I've introduced to you. Together with me just now, besides Wilfred, Wundishan, Peli. Yes, okay. Seated at the corner there is Stephanie Liu. She's also a member of our legal team. And at the same time, she's also the Assistant Honorary Secretary. So what else? And behind me, Nurul Hidayat. She is also a lawyer, full-fledged lawyer now, and she's the Honorary Secretary of Sabah. They are the two youngest members of our team, okay? And they will be part of the secretariat for the team itself. So besides that, Saudara Peli Aaron, Saudara Patrick Anek, how many here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 or 8 lawyers present today, out of a team of 15. Of course, some of them are overseas, so they cannot be present. We hope to bring them here to celebrate with us 722. Okay, 722 itself. Okay, now the third news, which we have informed before, is that Sabah is going to organize the 722 rally or the 722 celebration, which is July 22nd, and we hope to hold it at the Central Padang, where we have held for many years in the past. And we shall be sending out invitations to quite a few organizations of like mind. Mr. Alim, have you got the names?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be sending to...
Mr. Alim is the Sabah chairman for the organizing committee.
We'll be sending to Dayak National Congress, Rumpun Bangsa Dayak, YAT, YATT, Sarawak Dayak Iban, Dayak Bukit Keringkang, Draft, S4S, SAS, Sarawak Patriot Association, and Sarawak Liberation Movement.
Liberation Movement.
Yes.
Ini Klub Kesetiaan Sarawak.
Klub Kesetiaan Sarawak. Yes.
Which was the group that organized the 19th January rally on the Central Padang. Okay, we are welcoming all like-minded associations, irrespective of their political or racial background. So long as they are with us, all Sarawakians should celebrate 722, which is Sarawak's Independence Day. And that is our invitation. We are actually inviting all of them to jointly organize the 722 event with us. Okay, we have already formed the committee, and Saudara Alim is the chairman of our 722 committee. So officially, we are telling all of them that we're inviting to everybody. We will be officially issuing a letter to them also. When the bigger committee is formed, then we'll do the appropriate announcement again. Okay. Now, my third thing, or is it the fourth? Fourth, okay, is regarding the current situation of the amendment to Article 1(2) of the Federal Constitution. I believe that tomorrow only they are going to give us the text of the proposed amendment. Many civil groups have already expressed their dismay. Political parties, civil groups, and especially Saudari Lina Su. We have expressed our dismay and concern about the secrecy surrounding the proposed amendments to Article 1(2) of the Federal Constitution. Secrecy has no place in a transparent Malaysia. This amendment is one of the most important amendments affecting the integrity of the Malaysian Federation. So there is no room for them to put it under secrecy until the time is going to be debated to be passed in Parliament. It should have been made available to the entire Malaysian population, especially the people of Sarawak and Sabah, who are entitled to know what is going to happen to their status again. Now, there has been a lot of rumors and a lot of so-called celebratory messages that finally we are going to be given our proper recognition. And some people are talking about becoming territories again. I'm quoting the state government. Oh, we're going to become a territory. Of course, there has been a lot of misinterpretation and a lot of what we call wayang kulit. Now, I don't have to go very far. I just need to open to, well, this is not the latest, but it is July 2016. The Federal Constitution, I believe there's been no amendment since then. I just need to show you Article 1, Sub 3 and Sub 4. Okay, Article 1, Sub 3 and Sub 4. And I have put it in highlight, the terms territories mentioned therein. Okay, territories are mentioned therein. Do you know what they are defined as? Well, they are not defined, but what are those territories mentioned inside there? Let me read it out to you. Okay, let me read out to you. Now, this is the current version of it. Subject to clause 4, don't bother. The territories of each of the states mentioned in clause 2 are the territories comprised therein immediately before Malaysia Day. They are territories of a state. Mind you, this is in the Federal Constitution right now. Let me go further. Subparagraph 4. The territory of the state of Selangor territory of the state of Selangor, that means it's smaller than a state, shall exclude the federal territory of Kuala Lumpur established under the constitution, blah blah blah. And thereafter, all such federal territories shall be territories of the federation. Now, this is already in our federal constitution. Are we going to be very glad that we are going to become a territory of Malaysia?
No.
You understand what I mean? Here, clearly stated in our federal constitution, is that the word territory denotes an area which is smaller than a state, as belonging to part of a state, like the territory of the state of Selangor. And those that are taken out are actually the federal territories belonging to the federation. You know, territories in their ordinary legal definition don't have any rights. They are literally colonies. Look at a dictionary. Hong Kong was a territory of the United Kingdom. They have no rights whatsoever. They were a colony. So does our Sarawak government, which seems to be very great, very happy about the amendment to the Malaysian Constitution. Will it settle to be called a territory of Malaysia?
But I think, Dominic, if I may,
Sure.
I think that one we are going a little bit of tangent because then we are speculating already.
I understand.
So we wait for the reading, we wait
Sure.
for the bill to be given, then we move on to the
It's
next stage.
tomorrow.
Yes. we
Okay,
wait for it.
thank you very much. Now, I am expressing concern because I'm quoting from the federal
But
constitution.
I think that particular issue on the question of territory, because we have raised it,
Yes.
and I think I think Sharifah Hashida has already said that we wait for the tackling of the bill, and then the usage of that word territory
Yes.
was used.
Let's hope that it is not going to be what we hope that it's going to be.
Yeah.
That we become a territory again.
So I like I said, I
Sure.
told Lina as well. I think the objective of Sabah being an NGO.
Yes.
All of you know that I'm part of a political party.
Yes.
And Lina is also part of a political party. But through this particular NGO, we hope to be able to achieve the same objective, which is to take back what rightfully belongs to us. And for so long as we are not off tangent, I think all of us can work together. So for the greater good of Sarawak. So that's why I'm here, if any of you are wondering. So as far as that particular point is concerned, I think we wait for the bill rather than we do a lot of this speculation.
Okay, I'm sorry that I may be speculative, but then I'm quoting from the federal constitution. That's why I'm not going off tangent. So what I'm saying basically is, I am trying to remind all our members of parliament, be they from Pakatan or from GPS or from the Sabah side, not to be too happy. Please read the amendment carefully. Don't be too happy that we are going to be given the status or return the status of a territory. Okay? So, I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer, and I'm afraid a lot of the MPs are not lawyers. And if indeed they were given the text at the last minute, they might not have the time to analyze it properly or to get proper legal advice or constitutional advice on the import of the amendment. That is our concern. Something of this nature, something of this importance should have been given out at least a couple of months ago so that we can properly in the public arena discuss the implications. There should be a consensus of at least Sarawakians and Sabahans. That I think you agree with me.
Yes.
Before we make any more amendments to an article that is going to strike at the very basic foundation of the Federation. Nothing is more important than this. What happened in 1976 Okay? We hope will not be repeated here. We don't want it to be repeated. And I'm sorry, and I'm sure a lot of you will share the sentiment that I'm going to express. I don't have much confidence in the federal government doing what is right for Sarawak and Sabah. I really don't have much confidence. I am not speaking in a political sense because I don't belong to any political parties, but I simply have no more confidence. So it is up to our members of parliament from Sarawak and Sabah to make sure that the amendments that are expected to Article 1 Sub 2 is going to be thoroughly not only debated but considered, and they must not vote for it if it falls short of whatever Sarawakians and Sabahans are expected that to be. We will rather reject the amendment than to allow an amendment which will crystallize our position in the Federation. That is my position and Sabah's position. I would rather they vote against it or they withdraw their support if that amendment at the end of the day falls short of our expectations of it. Okay with that?
Yes.
I don't want this to be a territory, please. Unless you clearly redefine the word territory inside this federal constitution. That is our concern. Okay? So, okay with that so far?
Yeah.
Sorry. I am a bit heated.
Can I?
Sure.
I think any amendment to the federal constitution aiming at or directed to the amending or derogate or lower down the status of any word in the MA63 is repugnant thereof and ultra-virus thereto.
Yes.
Therefore, any such amendment cannot stand because it is repugnant to the MA63. The MA63 is an international treaty and you cannot amend anything in it or even water down the meaning of it, import it into the federal constitution because that would be against the international law. So if anything of that nature being done to the federal constitution with such aim, I mean we can read through the statement of the mover of it. We can still therefore go to the final authority in the United Nations or even in the British Parliament or the House of Lords to pursue our rights down there. The amendment to the Constitution, if ever is going to be done, will not affect in any way the MA63. We still have recourse to that. I think that's my view.
Now, if I may, just to complete my point, this was actually the Malaysian Agreement, okay, and also at that time the proposed constitution of the Federation of Malaysia. Okay, this is the original quote, original phrase of the constitution which they amended away. It's here. Okay. Now, the original quote was that actually this is by Article 1.
No, this is a Malaysian bill, which
It's
is
a
annexed
bill
to the Militia
to the Militia
Agreement.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And this is actually Article 1.
No, it's Article 4 of the Malaysia bill, which is Article 1 of the Federal
Their
Constitution.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification. She in fact knows more law and the Malaysian Constitution
I'm
than
not a
law
lawyer.
lawyers. Okay, and any clarification from him. You see, even here, this is the original text of it. Even here, it says that here we're talking about the Borneo states, namely Sarawak and Sabah. This was what we were talking about. Okay, so last time it was the Borneo states of Sarawak and Sabah in the separate title, different from the states of Malaya. Then after the amendment in 1976, all these states become all listed together. So that in that sense, the state of Sarawak and Sabah seems to be delegated,
watered down.
to the same status as the states of Malaya.
The state of police, which is the smallest
It's
state,
a smaller state some more.
we are equal to police,
Okay.
which is
And-
ridiculous.
Here, they also say the territories of each of the states mentioned in clause 2 are the territories comprised therein before Malaysia Day. Again, they also use the word territories as being part of a state. So that's why I say I don't think we should be too happy about reverting it to that situation, because it doesn't reflect the status of Sarawak and Sabah as per the Militia Agreement, as Saudara Patrick Anek has stated. So it is not as simple as just taking away what was Amendment 354, Section 2, passed in 1976. It is not as simple as that. Because even the text itself is already problematic. So if you want to amend it properly to reflect MS 63, even this part, we cannot just simply restore it to this previous version, because it will still be infringing MS 63. Okay? Now, after saying all that, I would also like to voice our support for the press statement that was released by Robert Pei 2 days ago. I think it came out in most of the press, where he called upon, after analyzing the Chagos case, okay, which has relevance to that of Sarawak and Sabah before we formed the Federation of Malaysia. He called upon Sarawak government and the Sabah government to review the whole situation as a result of the recent International Court of Justice decision on the Chagos Islands. And I think we strongly support that stance, to call upon the Sarawak and Sabah government, especially the Sarawak government, to review its status within the Federation of Malaysia. Now, we are of the view that MA 63 itself is null and void ab initio. That means right from the beginning itself, in the sense that when MA 63 was signed, the people of, Sarawak and Sabah are still colonies. They are not independent. They are in no way self-determined entities. They are not independent at all. Even though July 22nd has been declared Sarawak Independence Day, it is only in form, not in substance. And one of the signatories of MA 63 is the AG of United Kingdom, signing on behalf of the people of Sarawak. Do you understand the consequence of it? He is signing on behalf of Sarawak when he is the servant of the United Kingdom. How can he represent another country or another entity to sign on Sarawak's behalf when he himself is bound to UK? So that is the question that is now being raised. Sarawak was not a free country, was not a country that has been properly decolonized at the time of 16 September 1963, or in fact on 9th of July when Militia Agreement was signed. So we are now, based upon that Chagos case, of the opinion that when a colony who has no right, when he's not independent, not properly decolonized, he has no capacity, not yet the capacity to sign an international agreement. That is the legal situation we're now looking at it. So
They have no dominion status.
they have no
Dominion status.
dominion status. Thank you
That's
very
the
much.
word United Nations.
Okay. So we are not talking about an unconstitutional challenge. We're not talking about something that's illegal or something that is not recognized by international law. So the suit that we are anticipating in mounting, of which the statement of claim is still being drafted. And I don't mind letting you know now that the person I've entrusted to draft it is Mr. Robert Pei himself. It's okay, I'm sorry. But he's safe. He's safe, he's not here. So the situation is very serious at the moment. Okay, we're mounting a very serious challenge. We want the people of Sarawak to understand the situation that we are now in, so that they should not be again easily hooked in by the federal government when they talk about amending the constitution, because we may be jumping from the frying pan into the fire. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Any other comments that any other words?
Okay, I have one on press statement, okay, which you people may take it. I think the state government has a right to declare independence immediately. Very simple. Okay.
Straight to the point.
There is what called no prohibition under the federal constitution, no, under international law to allow the state government, being a colony of Malaya, okay, to declare independence. It's a Kosovo case down there. Okay, I think I wrote on there. I think it's enough for me. You can do it as an article or by news. Thank you very much.
But I think this is separate from the Sabah
This is spread from here.
statement.
This is my statement. Okay? Separate
But
from
we
Sabah.
allow him, but he's actually under your own name.
Yeah, I know my own name. Okay?
So you can question him later on. Okay, who else wants to make any statements? Okay.
Gideon, okay.